yeah, we get into the studio recording. Uh, what I remember of the place, we were on different levels. I don't know if that's exactly accurate, but I remember not being able to see Lars while I'm playing, and that was a little frustrating. The drum room was somewhere else, and we're obviously used to being each other's faces. Um, I remember going to, we didn't know the producer, we didn't know anyone there, and we're looking at him, and the guy's, kind of clean cut, and we're going, oh no, does he really know what he's in for, or does he know how to get the sounds we want, Because we had Mark Whitaker, the guy who was our early manager and place we lived at in El Cerrito. He was doing, engineering school, so he was helping with the sounds, and he helped with. There was a demo after the No Life to Leather that um, had Whiplash and like three other songs, and the sound was pretty darn good. Um, and I remember uh, driving around, and this guy Bob, who we had befriended up there, who was a complete nutcase. He was our shuttle service, He'd hang out, he'd take us to go get wings, or go drinking or whatever. He was our ride around. I remember we're listening to stuff in his car, going, A-being it with the old demo. That's our first experience with demoitis.
Yep.
It's like, oh my God, the guitars just they don't have it, or the vocals, and kind of freaking out about it that maybe, you know, this isn't the right guy. It's like, But the other thing I really remember, I had to go in, and we're short on funds, and I had to go in and do vocals. I had whatever 2 days to do all the vocals, and I was probably the most hungover I'd ever been in my life. I woke up,
Perfect.
yeah, I woke up. I think I'd smoked pot for the second time in my life or something too. I had woke up on the floor of the kitchen, and my head was resting on a wooden chair, and uh, I remember Johnny Z being on the phone. You got to go in and do vocals today. It's like, fuck you. I'm not doing any vocals today. I'm gonna throw up on the mic. It's like, what? You gotta. And I just completely hung up and just stayed. But I got all the vocals done, I guess maybe in 1 or 2 days.
How did you feel when it was finished and you heard the finished product at the end?
Um, I was psyched. I was psyched. I thought that the record obviously sounded good. It was a big thing about this Barrett Alley place had these really big rooms, so we thought the record was really nice and ambient and that whole thing, which of course was nothing compared to the Ride the Lightning record, which was really like next level up in terms of production. We're actually sitting, James and me, talking a couple days ago about how such a big thing back then, and you can probably remember that was production. Oh, we got to get Krista Sangaritas, or we got to do this, or Martin Birch. Ooh, it's a production. The sounds. It's like now you just fucking go in and play, and I mean it's almost like you're trying to. It's almost like you're trying to play it down now. You just want it to sound like garagey, and you don't want to fuck with it too much. Back then it was like, it was like Def Leppard was on the radio every half hour. Ooh, listen to the kick drum, and I mean I remember sitting there being super psyched about the way it sounded. And fuck, and obviously it was also a big step up from the demos in terms of sound and so on. And I remember the first time we held the record, it was down in Jersey right before the Raven tour started, early mid July. It was like, fuck, it was like you're holding a record, your own record with the word Metallica. That was a pretty big moment.
Boy, I listen back to those vocals and go, who is that?
Yeah.
Who is that? Who is she? I mean, some of his high screaming stuff. It's like, wow. And whether my balls hadn't dropped completely by then, or I mean, I don't know. But when you're first start, I was really thrown into the singing part. I wanted to be a singer really bad growing up. Growing up, my poster was Steven Tyler and Joe Perry together in this one picture, and I wanted to be both of them. And thinking that playing guitar and singing no band has made it like that. You gotta have a front man. So, and growing up in LA, I always wanted to be in a band, and everyone was looking for singers. So, well, okay, I'll put the guitar down and start singing. And I had to go back and forth with it, you know. Okay, I'm gonna sing. It's gonna be awesome. I'm singing, you know, at this action show and going, oh, I miss playing guitar, and we need another guitar. So I'll pick the guitar up again, and man, I feel this, you know, the riff and this, and okay, we're looking for a singer now, and then we look for a singer, and it's like, dude, the guy's a poser, and oh my God, and I go back and forth, and you know, I end up doing the rhythms because he's not as good and that, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna attempt to do both, you know, and you know, if a singer comes along, then okay. And I was not taking lessons. I was not, you know, I was listening to Lemmy. Lemmy was kind of okay. He's as long as you got attitude, you don't have to be able to sing, you know. And that was kind of the attitude around those days, you know. And you know, I did what I could, you know, and my extent of singing was a yeah like that at the end, you know. I'd do uh, a little bump at the end. That's singing, you know. That's my vibrato or something, you know. And you know, slowly over time, you know, obviously being on tour and things, you just get better. The more you sing, you gotta develop a style.